Pedro Castillo, the 51-year-old rural primary school teacher, is now president-elect. He won on the promise he won't forget poor Peruvians.
How can ministers and politicians earn such salaries when our children have no internet, our schools are falling apart, families are begging for oxygen, homes have no water or electricity? We will rescue this country to give our poorest families a home with dignity.
He grew up in a poor family in a remote Andean village, but in 2017 Castillo led a successful nationwide teachers' strike, which supporters say gave him credentials to lead the country.
I give Pedro the perspective to go forward into a national fight. We have showed we can also govern with experience from our towns as mayors and governors, and now the country. Previous leaders have been unable to resolve the direst problems.
But Castillo has many scared. He first told voters he'd nationalize some industries, redistribute wealth, and rewrite the constitution.
They say Castillo will take away your home, your savings, your land. That is completely false. We have to understand that we must put things in order.
Though he's toned down his rhetoric, critics don't believe him. They say Castillo and his supporters stole the election. They won't accept the results.
These people have come here to sow hatred. They've come to the capital with their machetes to threaten us, and we will not allow it.
Castillo doesn't have any criminal record. He represents the radical leftist Free Peru party, whose leader, convicted for corruption, invited Castillo to take his place. And now critics are afraid Castillo will be his subject. The biggest question for many here is what will happen after Pedro Castillo is sworn in on July the 28th. Will he surround himself by moderates, or will he radicalize himself to the left to keep the support of the party he represents? Castillo has no government experience, but analysts say his supporters feel identified.
He looks like most Peruvians. He represents the poor, the hungry and rural teachers who suffer the most. I don't know what more one could expect from a politician.
Analysts say Castillo's ability to govern will hang in the balance, with nearly half of the country rejecting him and the other half who demands change and who will expect nothing less from him than to deliver on his promises. Mariana Sanchez, Al Jazeera, Lima, Peru.